More proof that they absolutely hate the Detroit Lions. Just got out the shower. When I was in the shower, I thought about something. I said, wait a minute. How could I forget when I made a video about Dan Campbell getting snubbed for the second consecutive year for Coach of the Year? How could I forget about Benedict Johnson, a.k.a. Liquid Snake? Here's more proof that they hate the Detroit Lions. This is coming from the NFL YouTube channel. Guess who won Assistant Coach of the Year? Benedict Liquid Snake Johnson. He wins Assistant Coach of the Year by a landslide. It wasn't even close. Let's look at Pride of Detroit, and let's take a look at some of how the voting went for the Detroit Lions. This is coming from their website. When it comes to most valuable player, Jared Goff was 5th. He had 47 total votes, 0 first place votes. Like I said, I guess if you're going to lose and you're going to get no first place votes, that's not bad company to be in with the comeback player of the year. And a lot of people were screaming for him to be MVP. And the two guys that we thought, like one of the guys that we thought was a shoe-in, did not even get a first place vote. So that's what it is. And shout out again to Jared Goff. Coach of the Year. Dan Campbell came in second place with 19 of the first place votes. And there are a couple people that didn't even vote. They didn't even vote for Dan Campbell, like, period. They didn't even give him a first, second, fourth, third, or fifth place vote. He wasn't even enough to vote for. And just so you can see it, Andy Reid, who I think you got Patrick Mahomes, you should never be in the running for Coach of the Year. That's just my opinion. And let me come back to me real quick. For the people that tell me that if you feel like Kevin O'Connell should have won it, then I need you to explain to me, how do you explain Kevin Stefanski winning? And how did he win last year? Because he had 4 starting quarterbacks during the season. But the Detroit Lions have 18 plus players on injured reserve, and Dan Campbell doesn't win it? Yeah, they're moving the goalposts for sure. Let's go down to Assistant Coach of the Year. Benedict Johnson, a.k.a. Liquid Snake, had 29 first-place votes for a total of 364 votes. The next closest person was Aaron Glenn with actually in total votes, total points, was Brian Flores. Look at the total votes, first place. Between number 1 and 2, there was a 26-point discrepancy. And shout out to Aaron Glenn for it not being as drastic, but it's big enough. This, to me, is ridiculous. Now, you might be saying, Derek, I don't see the big deal. What you tripping for? I'm going to show you why I'm tripping. Because first I thought, Derek, maybe you can't have a Coach of the Year and an Assistant Coach of the Year be from the same team. Wrong. I'm going to show you exactly. This is coming from the 2023 NFL honors. Kevin Stefanski won Coach of the Year, and we're going to scroll down, and guess who won Assistant Coach of the Year? Jim Schwartz, which was the defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. So you sure could. More proof that they absolutely hate the Detroit Lions. And it gets even better. So it wasn't even close. I have a hard time believing. Now, you can tell me whatever you want to tell me, that this stuff is locked up before the voting must be closed. And it's quite possible. But even voting is closed before Benedict Johnson took a job with the Chicago Bears, they probably knew he was leaving, and they voted for him anyway. You're not going to convince me otherwise. All right, so let's go down to Offensive of the Year. Shout out again to Pride of Detroit for doing all this outstanding work, as they always do. Saquon Barkley led by a landslide over Lamar Jackson. But let's scroll down. Jahmyr Gibbs had 0 first-place votes, 21 total points. Jared Goff had 0 first-place votes, had 5 total points. Amon-Ra St. Brown. So our Detroit Lions had a total of 30 points. And Jahmyr Gibbs finished 8th, and not a one of them got a first-place vote. But we did have the most from any team. I guess that's a step in the right direction. Defensive Player of the Year, Kirby Joseph. Look at this. Kirby Joseph one first place vote. Now, this is hard company because these guys bought out. Trey Hendrickson won sack leader of the year. Myles Garrett looked pretty disappointed. We got a video to talk about him tomorrow. Sorry, not sorry. TJ Watt, he wasn't there. Zach Bond and Kirby Joseph finished in 6th place. He had one first place vote with, there it is. That's the picture, but we're going to talk more about that next year. Terrion Arnold makes it on the list for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Shout out to him. 5th place vote. One person voted for him 5th place. That's pretty good if you ask me. Comeback Player of the Year. Jamison Williams had 0 first place votes and 2 total points. Tim Patrick had 3 first place votes and 61 total points. Now, here's what I want to know. The NFL to me is so kooky. If you get suspended, you can't be in the Pro Bowl. You are automatically excluded from the Pro Bowl, but you can get voted on for a end of season award. I'm telling you, man, maybe because I don't know. I don't know if awards, MVPs and such, if they help your bottom line contract, maybe it's some incentives in there, but I know for the Pro Bowl, isn't it kind of weird? Jamison Williams is on his rookie deal. A Pro Bowl would have got him paid even more. I don't know. That helps the Detroit Lions more than the NFL. But how are you going to give in a year that you gave last year? You gave both the the coach and the assistant coach / defensive coordinator, both coach of the year and assistant coach of the year. And this time you give Benedict Johnson, Liquid Snake, assistant coach of the year, and Dan Campbell comes in second. That doesn't make sense to me. Now, I could see an offensive coach winning. And to me, if an assistant coach wins coach of the year, assistant coach of the year, then that means that the person that won head coach of the year had to be out of control. Because how is the assistant coach going to win an award, but the head coach does not? You got the team that won that had to be out of control. They had to be like the best head coach in the National Football League, bar none. So more proof that they hate the Detroit Lions. And I saw a clip of a guy. He goes by the name of Adam something. And he wind up absolutely obliterating Dan Campbell after the loss to the Buffalo Bills. Dan Campbell's press conference, as much as people try to act like it doesn't still matter, it does. And I'm convinced now, I don't know if Dan Campbell will ever win. No, the last MVP. Think about this. We had Calvin Johnson on our team. He never won MVP. We had Matthew Stafford on our team. Never won MVP. Barry Sanders was the last Detroit Lion to do it. I mean, outside of maybe a man of the year or something like that, they're never going to give us anything. So anyway, this whole thing is garbage. Whole thing is garbage. As a matter of fact, at least Megan Stefanski won NFL Fan of the Year. That's the second consecutive year an NFC North team has won it. Last year, it was the Green Bay Packer fan, Tom Grassi. I see now that the key to winning Fan of the Year is you have to do a lot in your community. If you don't do that, and no, this is no disrespect to those guys, you're not going to be you can be a super fan and you're not going to win it. You have to be doing a lot in the community. Tom Grassi has been on. He does massive things for charity. Megan does the same thing. She also drives from the UP every home game. She travels to the majority, if not all, of the away games. And what the Detroit Lions and the NFL is looking for when it comes to Fan of the Year, it's more. It's not just about you being a fan. It's about you doing something for the community as well. Yeah. So anyway, so congratulations to her, but not congratulations to Benedict Liquid Snake Johnson. That is absolute trash to me. And the fact that he absolutely destroyed, let's look at his competition again. And he absolutely destroyed everyone else on the list. This is how you know, man, they hate the Detroit Lions. So the coach that won Coach of the Year, his assistant coach of the year or candidate or assistant coach it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close, man. At least we had 2 Detroit Lions in here. It wasn't even close. This is over This is 221 points difference. That is insane to me. At least Dan Campbell, it was closer. That is absolute. To me, I don't know. It is the same. And check this out, this little stat down here. According to the Associated Press, of the 11 coaches who won this award, Johnson is the 6th winner to become a head coach in the same offseason, joining DeMeco Ryans, Vic Fangio, Pat Shurmur, Kyle Shanahan, and Todd Bowles. And you mean to tell me that it's only this isn't, we're supposed to think that this is a coincidence? That the winner out of 11 coaches, now more than 50% of them who win this award have become head coaches. And keep in mind, by the time this award show happens, these people are already coaches. So that's why I told you at the beginning of this video, you're not going to convince me otherwise, even if they say that this voting is already done before the season ends or whatever. You're not going to convince me of that because, again, I'm a numbers dude. I go by numbers. Numbers don't lie. They might not tell the whole story, but they don't lie. And if over 50% of the coaches that win assistant coach of the year, they get a head coaching job, that is not a coincidence to me. And if it is, then that's insane. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below about Dan Campbell. It's official. Not only just Dan Campbell, but the rest of the crew. We were at the bottom of every category except the one. Dan Campbell came in second place. If we look at, let's see, real quick. The Lions, the 8th, 9th, 14th, and 15th people were the ones voted on Offensive Player of the Year. When it comes to Kirby Joseph, he was 6th. When it comes to Terrion Arnold, he was 15th out of Defensive Rookie of the Year. The Comeback Player of the Year, Tim Patrick was 6th. Jamison Williams was 21st. Unreal. If you want to check out I did an interview with Megan Stefanski from Char Bar. This was before we played the Kansas City Chiefs. It was a great interview. I interviewed her and Ryan, which is an international fan. He actually won International Fan of the Year this year. So you can check that out. As a matter of fact, I will put it up here so you guys can watch it. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. I can't wait till we win the Super Bowl. But I would never watch this show again. Today was the first day in all my years I have ever, the NFL honors have been a thing for about 14 seasons. I've never watched it. I've never seen it until today, and I will never watch it again.